What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. All right, guys, we got some big leaks. That's right, leaks. Remember now, with leaks, anything can happen. This could be changed completely on the spot, but this is great news. We got ourselves some leaks on Sorin, which is my waifu right over there, who's the assistant right there. Look at her. Let me go to her for a second. Hold on. Let's go say hi. Oh, doing her hair, always looking good. So we got Sorin leaks and we got ourselves some Goto leaks, and I think these are going to be big ones. The confirmation of these is good news for the most part, and some semi-good news. I'm going to go over both of them. I'm going to explain to you guys what the deal is and why this is good news and why some of it is kind of mediocre news. Okay, so let's start off with Goto because he's first to come out. And we do need to discuss this. Now, this is probably all over the internet. You may have missed this. You may have not. Who knows? Discord, my Discord has it. A couple of Discord has it. And shout out to Alpha Leaker who has a chat with Zaf and I. And he always helps when he can. There are other leakers coming out as well too. So keep that in mind. You might get information here and there. And remember, with leaks as always, please keep in mind any of this can change. Okay. So Goto, who I was very much looking forward to. Now that Sorin's coming, I may skip. Presented currently as a wind elemental unit. Currently, keyword, that could change, right? Keep that in mind. He is also slated to be a breaker, potentially replacing Wu, likely a hybrid DPS unit like Gogun. He logically will provide buffs and damage. So let's take a quick look in terms of Wu and see if he's worth replacing. Now, Wu obviously is the only real breaker on the win team, right? And you guys can see right over here, he's got pretty good skills. He was one of the worst units in the game, of course. Now, he's much better since his buffs, but he doesn't desperately need to be replaced, okay? Because quite honestly, the win team itself is still pretty strong with Hansimi and Mirai. But as a breaker overall, Wu does fairly good breaking. Yes, he has weak breaks, but he has an amazing ability to recoup his skills, and he applies breaks really quickly because he hits really fast, right? Not to mention this skill hits twice. So this Iron Fist, Iron Fist, the Mediation of Power actually has two, I think two? Yeah, two. Maybe three even, right? So this can work really well. And then this over here, the Iron Fist move also has medium break and also provides a dash charge. So pretty damn good. Overall as a support, he's incredible because he gives SJW an extra dash as well too, by two dashes for 20 seconds. And his QTE also does a medium break when he comes in. And not to mention his ultimate actually does fairly decent damage. So Wu overall as a breaker is not a bad breaker because he brings a stun to the table. So for Goto to really matter quite a bit in this whole, I guess, team, he's going to need to bring quite a few different buffs that make Mirai much stronger. And I think that's at the end of the day what the goal is going to be, because you have to remember there is obviously some connection to Mirai as well, because Goto obviously was the inspiration for Kanae. Kanae's style was kind of fed off of Goto, and then she obviously taught Mirai. So there's going to be some form of a connection here, probably to Mirai in terms of buffing. And if he is going to be a higher DPS buffer, I'd imagine he's probably going to increase wind elemental damage and probably provide something like more attack, perhaps more, I don't know, more crit, maybe more crit damage. These are things that obviously matter to Mirai. It'd be kind of cool if you actually increased wind damage and then also increased, like, I don't know, units basic damage. That'd be kind of a cool thing to do. But Wu is not in desperate need of replacement, in my opinion. I think he's still a fairly good breaking unit and also does provide fairly good, like, actual buffs. If you look at his weapon, right, whenever he does actually do a break, and the opponent's in the break state, he increases all the team members' wind damage by 12%, right? Excluding the user of the skill, of course, so excluding himself. So this, of course, is only when the enemy enters the break state, so really good for, I don't know, POD or bosses that have multiple wind breaks or break states. But if it's a boss with one break state, then it's not quite as useful because it only lasts for that limited period of time, right? So you could see Goto replacing Wu, but I don't think it's desperate. Now, Sorin, on the other hand, is actually different. She's going to be the water. Apparently, she's the water element. And yes, she will also potentially be a tank and a breaker as well. And I think this one here is a desperate need. And I mean a desperate need. Now, before we go any further with this explanation, guys, I do want to point out to make sure that you guys do go and support the channel on the support program. I have sent out all your codes this morning or last night. So everybody who is supporting, all 7,850 of you should have received your codes. Please click that support button. We have 8 codes, guys, and a 9th one on the way. So make sure you are supporting. Shout out to my top 10, 141, 307, Omega X, 878, Patches, 724, 906, Raha, Cloud, and Lucy. Much love to you guys for supporting. Any new supporters, thank you so much for choosing me as your content creator. Any existing supporters, thank you so much for continuing your support. Remember, you can win a $100 gift card if you're my top 100. Join the Discord, get yourself the roll, and if you are my top supporter at the end of the season, I will guarantee you a $100 gift card via PayPal, Canadian of course, because I'm Canadian. Just make sure you're on the Discord and you show us proof. All right, guys, now back to the video. So we know that Sorin is in fact going to be, at least for now, the premier water unit for breaking. Now we do have Sa, obviously, who was my ex, and now is completely sitting in the bench or on the bench, keeping it warm for Sorin. Now, what Sa did bring to the table was very selfish of herself, right? She was a very selfish unit. Yes, she was a great breaker because you could spam her skills, but she provided essentially a shield to the whole team, which was the only real benefit, but everything else was for her, right? She got super armor. She was able to provide a shield again. She was able to increase her crit damage through her weapon, but overall, she didn't really bring too much to the team outside of that. Now, the main thing we need Sorin to do is to actually buff the team, because right now Water has Mei Lin as still, I'd say, the 3rd or 2nd best buffer in the game, right? She still is the best, I would say second to 3rd best buffer. And then of course we have Alicia. Alicia has not seen the limelight for quite some time, and I think with the proper buffer, let's say buffing again core damage for Alicia, buffing freeze, extending freeze, perhaps buffing water damage like Mei Lin, providing more crit damage, and maybe perhaps defense penetration or even damage increase. Any of those buffs would work really well. Sa is no longer being used, but honestly, it's because she's not that good of a unit anymore, right? So I believe Sorin is actually the unit we all would want to go for anyways, especially because water is the most lackluster element at the moment in the game. It used to be fire. With Essel's release and Kanae's release, they're actually number 1 now. Even Yusuyu, when Yusuyu was around with Essel, they were number 1. But now with water, they've completely fallen off. And I'm hoping, and I'm going to be real with you guys, I'm hoping that yes, Sa does need to be replaced, but I really want Sorin to become, I want Stacey Longstockings to be the premier DPS, to be honest. So I really do hope they change that. I was hoping she'd be like a mage, a water mage, or any form of mage that could replace Alicia, or at least work in tandem with Alicia, right? Mei Lin, I don't think is going to ever lose her spot. We obviously need a breaker on the team, so that's fine. So if it has to be Sorin, I'm okay with that. But as long as she gives the proper buffs and gives good breaking abilities, hopefully there's an almighty break in there somewhere. We might be looking at water team rising back up from the ashes, and then Alicia, of course, taking back her spot as one of the best units in the game, and hopefully that works. Now, the only other thing I think of is if the WOBL that's coming out near the anniversary in May is going to be water and wind element, we may see one of the brand new, like, I guess either national level hunters or SJW's dad be a wind element or a water element DPS. Because I mean, ideally, if you look at it, the DPSs are all old. We have we have Alicia and we have Mirai. So those two can technically be replaced by a brand new DPS. Could be a national level hunter, could be SJW's dad. So you might see water and wind element for those, either or. Who knows, maybe a double element or a brand new element altogether. So a lot of crazy things to come. And not to mention, there's also a weapon coming out. And again, the leaks are saying it's going to be like the little brother to the DKL, a hybrid weapon DPS support. What I want is a good support weapon for DKD. I'm tired of using the plum sword. So if there's a good support weapon for the DKD might again come on top as the best weapon in the game again for total DPS damage, right? And I still think it still is, but Wind right now obviously doesn't have the limelight anymore, but right now this is still the best premier weapon in the game, and I'm hoping that they bring a proper support for it to make it work. Just kind of like the Golden Tail Fox was great for the staff, the Divine Quarter staff, they need something equivalent for the DKDs. Well, there you guys go. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. This is Payne. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.